Shibbity diggity.
Shibbity doo.
Ship shop dibbly dop. We got Snoop Dogg in the house. He's joining us. He probably would. He's like, out of all the celebrity guests, I think he's the most likely person to actually come on our show.
Out of all the celebrities, you think Snoop Dogg is the most likely to come on our show?
Yeah, he'll do anything.
Really?
Yeah. You just give him a little... He was was in a epic rap battle.
Oh, man.
Yeah, Pete's worked with him. He met him.
That's crazy.
Pete had him on the set. I think he played Santa Claus or something, or Father Christmas or some shit. I forgot. It was some Christmas episode. And Pete said that he came on set and he smoked out the entire green screen room. He hotboxed it, and everyone on the crew got high. They got nothing done.
That's epic.
Yeah, he was there, and then in a cloudy, smoky haze, he was gone. This guy's constantly blowing down. That's literally me before Luna was born.
Yeah, that was what our apartment was like before we had Luna.
I wouldn't even smell it or notice it. So it was just so a part of who I was. And
yeah, nowadays I really smell weed. If someone's smoking outside,
yeah,
I know. I'm like, ooh, that's some good ganj or whatever. But nowadays I'm but back then, yeah. One time I went to go sell clothes to Plato's Closet, and they were we would love to take these, but they smell straight up like weed. You need to go.
Oh my god, I totally forgot about that.
Go wash them and bring them back. She didn't say like that. She was very, very, very polite. She's like, they have a slight smoke odor or something like that. And I was like, oh, I know what that. I know it's not slight. She was being really polite.
Did you wash them before you took them in, or were
No.
they just
well, I mean, they were clean.
So you did wash them?
Well, it's they weren't dirty. It's not I had worn them and then just didn't wash them before. I took them out of my closet and I only put clean clothes in my closet. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right. So they were clean.
Yeah, but
they were
it's
just imbued with the smoke.
Just yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, just the air in
awesome.
our apartment was just so smoky that the clothes in our closet smelled like weed.
That lady probably got a big whiff of them, as she was checking him out, and she probably got a secondhand high.
Yeah, literally.
Hopefully, just kind of get her through the day. Intentionally, she just wanted to, because whenever I smell smoke, I'm
yeah,
I almost
me
feel
too.
high again.
Because
We'll go to the park sometimes, and the fucking teenagers will be there lighting up their doobies. And I only say it like that because I'm jealous.
Yeah.
I want to join in, but I'm an adult now with a kid, so I got responsibilities. But I remember those days.
Yeah.
They weren't too long ago.
Yeah, it's not those days are completely over for us. We could smoke weed responsibly, but yeah, it's just hard once you start. For me at least, it's hard to just do it occasionally. If I have weed available to me in the house or whatever, I'm gonna want to smoke it every opportunity I get.
Yeah, we're weed alcoholics.
Yeah.
It's not as damaging as alcohol, but yeah, it's not when I used to drink, I would have some beers in the fridge, but I wouldn't drink all of them in one night or whatever. I would drink them every once in a while, but it's not the same thing with weed. If there's weed around, I'm smoking it every day, all day.
Yeah. Basically.
So it's just good not to have it, because I can't pace myself.
Yeah.
I don't have that kind of reserve, that kind of restraint.
I mean, I feel I can pace myself. If I have been off of it for a while, I can just have one bowl and then be ooh, I'm nice and high. You know what I mean? But then you build a tolerance for it, and then you need it way more often all the time, more.
Then your decision making skills aren't as sharp. And you're another bowl sounds pretty good right about now.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's better just to wait until Luna moves out.
Yeah, I want it sometimes for just because sometimes I'll get headaches. this pregnancy, that's been like a common thing. It's not as common as it was, but yeah, like a few months ago I was getting headaches like every day. And like every time I would get a headache, I'd be like, ooh, like if I could just like smoke right now,
Take one little puff.
I'd feel so much better.
Yeah, right.
So
Yeah, 'cause it really is good for certain things like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
maybe we can get some like, because it's legal here medically.
yeah, there's like shops around St. Louis now. It's pretty cool.
So maybe I can get it and like actually just use it like responsibly, like
Integrity
medically.
weed.
And like only
Locally
like
grown.
you know like, oh, like when I have a headache, like if I could have like the self-control to like just smoke like when I have a headache.
Just for actual medical purposes.
Yeah, exactly. Like I feel like that would be cool. I think I could do that. Like I think I could have self-control.
Medicinal crack cocaine. Legalize it. Yeah, there's like a scene, there's an episode of South Park where Randy is like pressured by the mayor to create like a Christmas special. So he like comes out with like this new weed called Christmas Snow or some shit. And it's like weed like with like cocaine just like you know, sprinkled on top of it, and everyone's getting like super high smoking it. And the mayor's like, what's in this or whatever, and he's like, oh, it's like, you know, organic pure like raw cocaine or whatever. Like diggity cocaine. And she's like, that's illegal, you know. And he's like, well, that's easy, and then I can fix that. And there's like a montage of him like say like, you know, protesting like outside of like the White House, and like with like signs that say like you know, legalize cocaine. And it's like, you know, he's like talking about how like cocaine is like racist, and like, or like, you know, like making cocaine illegal is racist. And he eventually like gets it passed like medically, and then he gets it passed like, you know, for like just like what is it, like you know, regular use. It's pretty funny. Yeah, you guys probably have seen that episode. I just took you through a whole journey of reliving that episode. Yeah, it's a good bit though. You showed that to me. Yeah, my favorite part of South Park is Randy. I think he's my favorite character. Yeah, he's so funny. I didn't like South Park before I met Forrest. Like I thought it like just looked like stupid or whatever, but it's actually like funny and like clever. Yeah, it's like got good writing and like voice acting. It's just like, it's really cool because it's really just like, I think they used to have like a writer's room where they like employed a bunch of people, but I think more recently, I could be wrong, this might just be completely false, but I think more recently they've kind of just been doing everything themselves. And I think they used to have like more voice actors too, and I think more recently they've just been like doing all the voices themselves. Like even the women, like they'll like pitch their voice and make it sound like a woman or whatever, like in the computer. So it's pretty funny. It's like very singular vision, you know. It's very like them. It's not this like, you know, amalgamation of writers, you know, all throwing their ideas in there. I was talking about this on Twitter because, like, you know, other shows just have not stood the test of time. Like, they might have had a few good first seasons, like Family Guy or Robot Chicken or whatever, but like none of them have held up the way South Park has held up. Because Robot Chicken used to be really funny. Like, there was like genuine like enthusiasm behind the show, and then over the years, like, it's just, you know, by the time I got in there, you could just tell the enthusiasm was gone. Like, no one wanted to work on it. Everyone who was working there, well, a lot of the crew who was working there, they weren't even like stop mo people. They were just like the only job they could get during the pandemic. And then like a lot of the animators like were talking about like, oh, I wish I was working on other shows. And I feel like I was like the only animator there who was like actually like a fan of the show and who wanted to like be there. And then like, but that's not even really the real problem, because like we all did a good job. It was more just like the writing, you know, is bad. Like, it's just not funny, like 95% of the time, maybe 90% of the time. Like, there are definitely a few good sketches, but they're few and far between. And it's not really worth watching all the episodes just to have, you know, you can watch a few of those sketches on YouTube. But yeah, it doesn't really make like I feel like, you know, so much money and effort and creativity was put into something that just like has like zero cultural impact. Like, no one talks about Robot Chicken. Yeah, I remember you would like come home from work and stuff and just be like, oh, I just animated like Some stupid shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, sometimes I'd be excited, like the Nightwing sketch, or like if I got a good sketch, I'd be excited to do it. But I animated a bunch of dumb sketches too. Like, just this isn't funny. Like, a lot of it's like, just like I feel like the humor didn't evolve with the times or something, or like the humor's like it's based around like a pun, or it's based around like just like a joke that they just do to death. Like they'll make the joke and then like they'll like reiterate it like 4 different times in the sketch, and it's like we got it, like we and like it's like I don't know, it's just like not clever, or like yeah, like there's like the way it's edited, like linger too long. Just the whole vibe and tone is off, and I wish it was like better. But yeah, they might be canceling it. This might be like I heard from someone that this might be the last season, but they keep saying that, so I don't know. They might do another season. But yeah, they canceled Santa Inc. Thank God.
Oh my God, that was really horrible.
Santa Inc. Like honestly, the studio just takes on too many gigs. That's the problem. Like they never turn down a gig. Like they do a bunch of commercials, and they do a bunch of different shows. So like the talent is pretty stretched thin, and like everyone's always like rushing and on a deadline, and like yeah, like they're I think Crossing Swords also got canceled. I might be wrong about this. So take all this shit I say with like a big grain of salt because I have no idea. But I heard Crossing Swords and Santa Inc. were both canceled. So maybe Robot Chicken will stay around. I honestly hope it'd be cool if it like got revitalized. Like, but they just need to like retool and like rethink their comedy. I mean, I don't really have much hope for it, but but yeah, I have just like a deep like love for that show. Like how it used to be, it was like really solid, and I'd buy all the DVDs and stuff. I gotta upload more of my sketches. I did a Smog sketch it wasn't the funniest sketch ever, but I did the whole sketch. I might upload that. And then what else did there's some other sketch I did that I thought, oh yeah, I did that Star Wars Palpatine sketch, which was pretty good. Like the way it was cut originally was like better, but they like cut it down, and it's just like the whole thing is like they have so many sketches, and then they cut them all down for time. So then there's no room for the sketches to breathe. Like they'll make a joke and they'll move on to the next joke like right away. They won't let you like take in the moment. And that's kind of what happened to the sketch, is like it had more breathing room when I animated it, and then when I actually saw it in the episode, it was like all the handles were cut off. So there's no like, it's just go, go, go. But yeah, I mean, that's why I just prefer to work on my own stuff, because I don't want to, be beholden to like other creative people. Did you hear about Seth Green and his Bored Ape show?
I think you were telling me about that, like the NFT thing or something.
It's like just what the studio needed, another show. Like I'm glad that like it got canceled or whatever, or he can't make it anymore. Because yeah, Seth Green doesn't need to start any new shows. He just needs to focus on like what's already out, yeah, his like NFT got stolen. You guys might have heard about this, but I don't even understand like why wouldn't he have the rights to the show anymore just because he doesn't have the NFT? Like, it seems like a joke.
I know, like the whole thing just sounds like just so like not even real. Like, you know what I mean? It's like there's some things that are real, and then there's things that are like just completely like a figment of our imagination. And like this seems just kind of like one of those things that's like, like what like rules or laws like are you bound to, where it's like he can't make his own show like just because someone stole. So it's like they stole it. So it's like what? Like I don't get it.
If you guys didn't hear about this, Seth Green had an NFT of like some ape, and he was developing a show apparently. I thought this was like an Onion article when I first read it. I was like, this can't be real. But he's developing a show around this NFT ape. But then the ape was stolen in a phishing scam, which is like when someone sends an email, posing as someone, and you follow the link and enter your information, and they use that to like steal from you. So apparently he got scammed in some sort of hack or whatever.
That sounds just like crazy too. It's like,
yeah, like
how did this even happen? Like, how did he get scammed like so good?
Yeah, what is Seth Green, like an 87-year-old man?
Yeah,
like
we were watching this video last night of like a Mark Rober video of him like owning or like pranking all these like scammers or whatever.
Oh yeah,
And
those are so good.
it started with like this old woman who got scammed out of like $20,000 or something. And it's like this conversation that she was having with the scammer, like while he was scamming her, was just like so crazy. Like she was so, like, I feel bad for her obviously, but yeah, she was just so like naive and just like completely distrusted everything he said, like, and just like totally fell for it.
Yeah, I felt so bad for her.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, but she was like an old lady, so like, you know, that kind of makes sense. But yeah, it's like, why, like,
She
some
was
people
so
just like shouldn't
naive. Yeah.
be like allowed, like, yeah, like on the internet, like alone, like unattended. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah. It was like taking candy from a baby. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, the guy was like, "Oh, you accidentally typed in 20,000, so now we've given you 20,000. Now I'm gonna lose my job and my family's gonna starve."
Yeah, like he literally
some
said
bait.
that. Like
Yeah,
he
it
was
was
literally
such-
like, me and my kids, like my kids are gonna go hungry or something, and she's like, oh, let me send it back. Like, can I send it back? And then, and then like he was like, yeah, just send me $20,000, cause you. And she was like, okay, like yes, and like did it.
Yeah, what happens is like, yeah, you get a fake email from Amazon, and it says, you know, you've made this purchase for $200. If you want to dispute this charge, call this number. And then the old person will literally call the number. Like, they call you. It's like you're not even being cold called. Like, you get some bait email, and she calls the Indian scammer, and he's like, oh yeah, like, we'll return that money to you. Just like log into this website and like give me access to your PC so I can like help you like get into this like account or whatever, or some fucking crazy shit. Like, they go through this whole like exchange, and he's like, okay, now just type in the number, the amount that you need to be refunded. And then she's like, oh, okay, and she types in, you know, 200, and then he like has access to her PC because she like let him have access, because like he just literally guided her through this like the whole time, and he adds like a couple more zeros on the end of that to make it 20,000. And then she presses enter. He's like, everything look correct? And she's like, oh yeah, I think so. And she presses enter, and he's like, oh no, ma'am, what have you done? Oh my god.
And
oh
she
no,
like
no,
blames
no.
herself, like she feels all sorry. She's like,
oh
my gosh, like I'm so silly.
She's like, my brain is hurting. Like,
yeah.
It was so fucking crazy. Like, it honestly like sounded like a skit. Like, I was like, is this real? Like, but yeah, Mark Roper wouldn't lie to us. He's a stand-up honest chap. Mark's playing with fire though, dude. He's gonna get himself fucking plugged one of these days.
I know, like one day he's gonna mess with the wrong person.
He's really like taking these like pranks like to a whole nother level. Like, he's like invading Indian scammer like warehouses where they have all these like hundreds of Indian people, just like call centers, like 24 hours a day, like making these like scam calls to like elderly American people. It's fucked up. And he's like, yeah, releasing cockroaches and fart spray into the office and messing with their money, like
thousands and thousands of dollars are
he's gonna get the fucking
for these people.
Yeah, he's gonna get the Indian Goodfellas on his ass. Oh yeah, pour one out for Ray Liotta. Ray Liotta died today. Have you ever seen Goodfellas?
No.
One of Martin Scorsese's best films. It's really good. You should watch it sometime.
We watched a good movie on your birthday. Oh yeah, Forrest's birthday was on Saturday.
Yep, 32.
No, he's 28. Don't listen to him.
Isn't that what I told your dad? Your dad's like, how old are you gonna be?
Yeah, you told my dad 32, and he was like, wait, what year were you born?
Yeah.
And you're like, no, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, Gary was wise. He didn't just fall for the bait. Like, most people fall for the bait. Like, most people just believe
he
what you
might
tell
have just
them.
thought like I lied to him about how old you were.
Yeah,
like
that's also a distinct possibility.
Like, how old? Like, if you were 32 this year, like, how old would you have been when we like met? You were like 23 when we met.
So, yeah, like
you would have been 27.
Around 27. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think my dad would have like been offended about that.
It's
really.
pretty old.
But yeah, it is older than you are now.
Yeah, I met her when she was 18, and yeah, some of my friends were like, "She's too young for you, bro." I'm like, "She's literally 18, and I'm 23. That's not that big a deal."
Yeah.
Like people are so like ridiculous.
We have like it's like a 5-year and like 10-month like age gap. So it's usually like 6 years.
It's
like
not
right
that
now it's
extreme.
6 years because you're 28 now and I'm 22.
It's like irrelevant to me too. Like once someone's 18, like they're an adult, they can make their own decisions.
Yeah,
like,
definitely.
You shouldn't like continue to treat them like a child. Like they're not. Like they're a legal adult.
Yeah.
It's like almost like misogynistic or something.
No, yeah, I think so too. Yeah, like
they don't have their own faculty to think for themselves or something.
yeah, I feel like that's like a really important like distinction and kind of like to have in like a free country or like a free society where you like really want to like optimize or like maximize like freedom is like to have like the distinction of like when someone becomes an adult, because you need to protect like children from things, obviously, and like from adults who want to exploit children. But once someone turns 18, like they should be able to do whatever they want. So it's like, that's the law here in America. It's like 18.
Yeah.
So
yeah, some people want the legal age to be like older. They're like, it should be 21. It should be the brain doesn't stop developing until you're 27 years old. So that's when you should
I feel
be
like we've had
expected
this
to get a job.
conversation on the podcast.
Yeah,
before.
probably. It's stupid, dude. Like you're plenty ready by age 18 to like get your own life together.
Yeah, I mean, it's like
handle your own shit.
Yeah, like you have to start like sometime. Like, you know what I mean? Like people kind of just want to like drag on like childhood and like drag on adolescence for like so long. And it's kind of just like you gotta like get going on your life eventually. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so it's like, why not 18? Like the end of your
clean
teen
your room.
years.
Yeah, right.
Like that sounds like a good time. I think
you were listening to some Jordan earlier today.
I was
doing your chores.
Mm-hmm.
He came out with a video where he has a debate with Dawkins.
Yeah, Richard Dawkins.
Alyssa's her side hoe.
Yeah.
Alyssa's side hoe, Richard Dawkins.
Forrest feels threatened by like 80-year-old Richard Dawkins.
Hey, dude. He's he's tough competition. Guy's got opinions. He's passionate.
He seems like kind of a fuddy-duddy, like in this episode or in this like podcast I listened to him with Jordan Peterson, because Richard Dawkins has never done any psychedelics before.
What a pussy.
He's 80. You've had 80 years to do psychedelics. He was freaking like working in like San Francisco like during like the 70s and stuff.
He's literally ancient.
Like
he's older than those turtles in the Galapagos.
Are you seriously telling me that so it's like he's definitely been offered like a psychedelic before and he just has turned it down?
Yeah, right? Like you'd imagine at some point he was offered a psychedelic by some dude.
I think that
and
my
theory... Like, no, not for me.
My theory is that...
You enjoy. Thanks.
Yeah, literally. My theory is that he's afraid to do psychedelics because he's such like he's made his whole career and like his whole everything based on the fact that he's like an atheist and he just like firmly does not believe that there is a God.
Did you know that I'm an atheist?
But
that's what he sounded like when he was young.
So I feel like when he's afraid to do psychedelics because he feels like it might change his like mind about things.
I mean, like, I'm an atheist and I've done plenty of psychedelics. It didn't change my mind.
I know, but I think that's just my theory. I think that he thinks that it might change his mind and he doesn't want that.
He's probably just a pussy. Like, I've talked to a lot of people and they're like, who don't do drugs. I'm like, why don't you want to do it? And they're like, there's a variety of reasons, but the one I heard the most from people, I was literally that guy who was like, fucking come on, bro, like do some drugs with me. Like the guy they always warn you about in like PSAs. Yeah, like they'd be like, well, I don't like feeling like out of control. Like, I want to feel like in control of like myself or whatever. and it's like they're just like afraid of like, you know, facing like a different form of reality. Like they've constructed their own reality. Like they've taken a lot of time to like put together this like semblance of a reality that like is comfortable for them. And yeah, it's just like people who are like afraid to be like uncomfortable, because it's not really about like the danger, because it's like taking psychedelics is like not dangerous. Like
Yeah, like LSD and like mushrooms are pretty like, I don't think you can overdose on them.
you can definitely fuck yourself up big time on them, but like I had a friend who accidentally like took like what was it, like the equivalent of like, I don't know, like 150 tabs of acid at once or something.
Well, obviously, you know,
and he was fucked for like months. Like I think like
Yeah.
almost like a year. He was like not right in the head.
Well, obviously you have to be like, you
Yeah.
know, responsible. Like if you've like just take one tab or like take
He
like
was fucked up, dude.
like,
he had
you
to go.
know.
He had to go like the psych ward and stuff. And
Yeah.
thankfully he's good now. But yeah, he really like, yeah, it was.
You can't, you know,
I was like,
you
I don't know if we're ever getting him
just like
back.
anything, you have to be like responsible.
Yeah, like that. My thing is like, you know, I typically would not do a drug unless like a close friend of mine had already done it or had already done that batch. You know, it's not like I just went out into the forest and started eating random mushrooms that I found like growing. Like
Yeah,
it's like I would be like, oh, like have you done this? And they'd be like, oh yeah, like I've done this. I'm like, okay, so it's probably chill.
Yeah, I've been really fortunate because I've never had to like go out and like search and like seek my own like drugs. Like they've always just been like around, and
Yeah, same, pretty
my,
much for me
like,
too.
you know, and it's always like kind of like, you know, like trusted people, you know, are the ones providing it, or you know what
Right.
I mean? So it's kind of like, yeah, I've never like I've never like bought them off like the black market on like some people buy them from like online and stuff. I think that's like crazy.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like if your whole job is like being like a philosopher or whatever, what is Richard Dawkins? He's like an author.
Yeah, he's like an evolutionary biologist.
He's a biologist?
And he's like an author. Yeah.
What does that entail?
He just like does research on like, you know.
Yeah, he's like 87. He should just do it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's like he should do it before he like dies. Like,
Do it, pussy.
but yeah, and
Come
then
on.
Jordan Peterson was saying that he's been like recently doing lots of like mushrooms.
Oh, you know Jordan's all whacked out on that shit. All whacked out.
Like,
Oh
yeah,
my
he was saying that
God.
he did like the words he said he did like 7 gram. He took like 3 doses of 7 grams, so that's like 21 grams.
Jordan's so funny, dude. He always wears his suits, like really classical suits. Like he thinks we're like still like in the Renaissance like era, like the Renaissance times. Like just like dressing really old fashioned. Like he looks good, you know, but it's also kind of silly.
Yeah.
Like it's almost like he's a cartoon character.
Yeah, I watched like an interview with him and like some other people, and like that one of the guys was like, "You're making us look underdressed."
Yeah, for real. Yeah, he always shows up like dressed to the nines. Like you look great, Jordan. Like I don't think I've ever seen him in anything other than a suit.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so funny. Like his hair is all like coiffed and like manicured, and yeah, he's very like put together. Do you remember in the Great Archie?
Yeah,
The character in The Great? There's a show on Hulu called The Great with Elle Fanning, and who's your other side hoe? What's his name?
Oh, like the one that.
Christoph Holtz.
Oh, Nicholas
Holtz.
Mhm.
Holt. Nicholas Holt. I should combine you and him. I have this app. You can combine yourself with a celebrity.
He combined me with Tom Holland.
I wanted to see what the kid would look like if she cheated on me.
I'm not attracted to Tom Holland. Like, I don't really get the hype behind him. Like,
He's
like,
an American sex symbol.
he's British, I thought.
Well, yeah,
But our kid was cute in this like app that Forrest put us in.
yeah, she's like having second thoughts, like, oh, no, but I imagine like, you know, that scene when like Archie's like my favorite character in that show. But you remember that scene where he does like psychedelics with Elle Fanning?
Yeah.
And he's like, do you see God? he's right there. And she's like, I don't see God. Like, I see like the universe or whatever.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, yeah, it kind of shows you like what you want to see a little bit, like like what you're already predisposed to see. I feel like it doesn't show you like, there are accounts of like, people experiencing the same thing.
Yeah, that's kind of what they were talking about. I feel like
it's also like a very personal experience. So you can't like, if you see like a fucking leprechaun while you're tripping, it's like, it doesn't mean leprechauns are real. But yeah, I kind of imagine like Jordan Peterson taking mushrooms and acting like how Archie acted on that show, like just him like wide-eyed, like tripping out, like, man. I remember one time we did like some drugs with Sean. I forgot what we did. It was either shrooms or LSD. Forgot what it was, but I think it was Sean's first time doing psychedelics, and yeah, he was gone, man.
I know. I've heard
who he was.
This story before.
I've never been like so gone. I've done like lots of drugs, and I've never been to a point where I'm like, I don't know, like I completely blasted off this earth. Like I feel like I'm too like rooted or something. Like even though I've done a lot at once, like I'll definitely get super high, but like I've never like completely just lost my mind.
I feel like I still have like complete like self-control. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, right. Like the whole self-control thing. Like I've never like lost control.
Like, yeah, I'm obviously having like, an experience. Like, you know what I mean? And like I'm different, but like I feel like one time I did LSD or something, and I was thinking like, oh, like what if I like said this or whatever, like, you know what I mean? Like, and then like I was like with people, and I was like, oh, that would be crazy, but then I like didn't, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, if that makes sense.
Most
like,
people, they're not just gonna like pull their cock out and start jerking off or anything. Like, if that's what you're worried about, like, I don't know. I've never seen that happen.
I was really like, honestly, I felt like I was more. Not like anxious, but I felt like one time we did it and I was like more cautious of like what I was doing and stuff.
Yeah.
Because I felt like, oh yeah, like I'm in like this altered state of mind. Like I need to be like careful or whatever. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
Yeah. I think, the last time we did LSD together was like on your birthday, like a few years ago. Pretty sure.
Yeah,
like when we were still living in St. Louis.
Yeah, we didn't do any when we lived in LA because I was already pregnant.
This was before Luna was conceived. And we got some LSD and we took it. And I remember I wanted to go on like a walk.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about.
And like you were like getting nervous of the road. Like you were like thought we were just gonna like walk into traffic.
Yeah,
and I'm like, I promise you we're not gonna walk into traffic.
The cars were just like really fast.
Really fast and loud.
And like really like close to me. And yeah, I remember I like didn't want to go anymore or whatever because I was like, I just want to stay, like, because like in our apartment complex it was just like really peaceful. Yeah. And like you could just kind of like walk around on the grass.
The vibes were like predictable.
Yeah. And I remember I just wanted to go back there. I was like I just want to sit on the grass and like not be surrounded by like cars.
Yeah, I've done so many drugs at this point where I can kind of just like, I don't know, I almost like know how I'm gonna feel. Like I don't really have the desire to do it anymore because I've done it enough to where like I kind of understand how I would feel. I can kind of like, I don't know, just like vibe with that feeling if I want to. Not that I'm gonna be high. Like obviously if I did drugs I would actually get high, but like, yeah, I just don't have like the strong desire to do it anymore. Maybe I'll fuck around with it after the kids move out, one day, Jordan Peterson style. But yeah, I don't really see the need. It's yeah, it's pretty fun though. Yeah, we walked up to the antique store. Remember that?
I didn't like being in the antique store.
Someone said hi to us.
Yeah, like, that's another thing is like I don't want to be around people who like don't know that I am on drugs when I'm like on the drug. like you know what I mean? Like I honestly don't really want to be around people who aren't also high.
Yeah, I wonder if that antique store actually like is still around, if it survived the pandemic. That place is pretty cool. All their shit's so like dusty and like,
yeah, I remember
it was a trippy place to be in.
I just felt really like dusty and like I just felt like everything was like
Yeah, like
because you also feel
breathing
like
was like different in
really
there.
like hyper aware of like your senses and everything, and like
You can feel like like your
the
body like
environment.
working internally. It's crazy.
So yeah, I remember I was just like, oh, like I don't. This like place is really dusty. Like I don't feel like good breathing this air or whatever.
Right. Yeah. No, it was an interesting adventure, but it was a little too stimulating for you, for sure. I was like kind of disappointed that we had to go home, but it was chill at home and we had a good time anyway.
I probably took like too much. Like I'm kind of like a smaller, or like especially before I was pregnant, I was like really like tiny.
Yeah, it's almost better to like microdose.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's like you can have more of a chill experience. But yeah, thankfully our friend came back from that. That he was in that zone for a long time.
Yeah.
He went to the psych ward, so it definitely shouldn't be something you do like lightly. Like you should be prepared.
No, yeah. You should be like intentional when you do it.
Yeah.
And do it as a way to kind of like explore your mind and like explore things from like kind of like a psychedelic, like mystical, like spiritual kind of way.
Yeah, it shouldn't be taken as like a party drug like weed or alcohol. Like,
yeah, exactly.
I mean,
yeah, I saw a quote that it was like LSD is, or like being on LSD is like experiencing your mind like without any kind of like preconceived kind of like judgments, or because it's like your brain has learned like so much from like since you were born like till now, and a lot of that like is useful. It helps you like survive and like function and operate in the world, but a lot of that could also be like not useful, like what I mean.
Yeah,
and I mean it helps you survive in like the environment that you're in,
right?
But that's not necessarily like the greatest thing or whatever. So like I also saw a quote and it was like taking LSD is kind of like freshly, it's like when like it snows or whatever, like a freshly sprinkled snow like on top of like tracks in the snow or something, or like footprints in the snow, if that makes sense. I think it kind of like allows your brain to like, it like breaks down the kind of like the pathways in your brain that like, and like blockages like in your mind and stuff that like
yeah,
like kind of like keeps you in in certain like mindsets.
Yeah, some people like it should be like, I feel like it should be like prescribed to them by like a psychologist or like their therapist or something. Like if it could be utilized medicinally in like a controlled environment, I think it could be really beneficial to some people.
Yeah.
Like really like angry people, or like really like confused, or like twisted up people. It's good at like kind of making you like face like the roots of your insecurities and issues. Like that's why I say it's not really a party drug, because like I mean it's definitely fun and definitely like can be really exciting, but it can also like be really like eye-opening and like revealing too. So yeah, you should be prepared for that kind of experience. But yeah, I think being a parent's like definitely like the greatest like emotional journey I've ever been on.
Yeah. Like giving birth is literally like tripping. Like it's like a psychedelic experience.
I felt like I was tripping like when you were giving birth.
Yeah. It's like a natural high, like a natural like yeah.
And ever since Luna's been born, I've been like happier than I've ever been in my entire life by far. So like I almost feel like I'm like tripping all the time, but like way more focused and like sober, obviously, because now I'm completely sober.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, but I'm like still like super happy and enthusiastic all the time.
Yeah,
so it's like, good. Yeah,
that's how like that's how it's supposed to feel. Like that's kind of how we're biologically like wired, especially like women. Like that's what like the whole birth process is like for. It's like
Yeah.
to make you just like fall like absolutely in love with like your baby. Like, you know what I mean? Like everything, all the hormones and everything work together to like make you just like obsessed with your baby and just
Oh man,
like
Luna's so cute.
yeah.
We had a good day with her today.
Mhm.
Yeah, every day's good, but today was particularly good just because we got to go to Target and Costco,
Mhm.
and I spent a good amount of time with her, picking her up and throwing her into the big plush mellow. What are they called? Plush mellows?
Squishmallows.
Squishmallows?
Mhm.
Yeah, there's like this. You guys may have heard of it. It's like a brand of these like squishy pillows that are shaped like characters or animals, and they're really huge though. They're like XXL large.
Yeah.
So you can throw a whole baby into them like safely.
We do it all the time. Like Forrest always picks her up, and like we have a bunch at home. We have like 6 or something.
We got all the different ones Costco had available.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're like $30 each, and like we would just pick one up every time we went for a
Yeah.
while. But now we're all out. Like we've gotten every one. So if
Mhm.
we got more, we'd have to get like duplicates.
Yeah, we should just like, I bet like in a couple months there'll be more like designs.
I hope so. Yeah, you never know with Costco. They're crazy with their inventory, their product lines. Like it's always so random.
Mhm.
But I would like to get another Squishmallow. You can never have enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're great because you can like throw them at each other, have pillow fights with them.
They're really practical
'em.
for us too, cuz like I like put them like along the edge of the bed.
Yeah.
So Luna won't like roll off the bed. Or if she does roll off the bed, she'll just like land on a squishmallow.
Yeah, they're like little bumpers.
Yeah.
Yeah, like when you go bowling, you throw up the what do you call them? Bumpers? Is that what they call them?
Yeah, I don't know. I think
I
so.
haven't been bowling in a while. It'd be cute to take Luna bowling when she's older.
Oh, that'll be sweet.
That'd be sweet. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to so much stuff. Like I'm having such a blast like being her dad, but it's also like there's so much cool stuff. I can't wait to like take her to her like first movie. Or like, yeah, take her bowling. Just like simple shit that like, we take for granted, like experiencing it for the first time, through her eyes is so magical.
Yeah, it's so much fun having a kid because you're almost like a kid again, like through their eyes.
Definitely. Yeah. And it's like better because it's like you're experiencing their joy and it's like they're more important to you than you've ever been.
Mm-hmm.
Like I care more for Luna than I've ever cared for myself, like by far.
Mm-hmm.
And now I take care of myself a lot more because I want to be there for her and set a good example for her.
Mm-hmm.
Because she just, she's a time and a half.
I know. She just turned 1.5 today.
Yeah. Yeah, 1.5. It's crazy because I feel like her first birthday was just like the other day. We had like a party here and stuff, but it's been like 6 months. It's been a pretty productive 6 months. I'm pretty
I know.
happy.
We've lived here for so long. For
Bless
6
you.
months. Thank you.
Bless you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I feel like
Give me a tissue.
we've gotten a lot done. Here, I'm just gonna move the tissue box over towards you.
Yeah.
You seem to be having some issues over there. Some tissues for your issues.
Ooh, we should
Yeah, it's
talk.
like whenever we start recording the podcast, we start getting like fucking congested. It's like why? Luna's been super congested recently.
I know. It's weird because she's like has no fever and she's acting totally normal, but she just like congested,
Has,
all
like,
like
a lot of snot.
snotty.
Yeah, I guess like I looked it up and it's like sometimes like weather changes can be the culprit, and like the weather has been really like sporadic and weird recently.
Yeah, it was like kind of cold today.
Yeah, it's like a little bit cold today, but it's also been
last
like, really
week
humid
it
and
was
hot.
really hot. Like,
yeah, so maybe all the changing variation of like humidity. I don't know. But yeah, I pulled out like a bunch of fat boogers out of her nose today.
good.
They were
Good
thick.
work.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we watched The Northman for your birthday.
Yeah.
How'd you
Alyssa
like
was like,
that?
"What do you want to do for your birthday?" I'm like, "I want to watch a movie." Just watch a movie with me. I tried to get her to watch Sing 2 the other night, but she could only bear
we
it for so
turned it
long.
on, and Forrest could have kept watching it. I fell asleep like snuggling him, and you could have kept watching it.
Well, I want you to see it. I was having a blast. I was like, this animation's great.
I wasn't like too into Sing 2. Like I didn't like how I thought it had like a lot of weirdly like adult like songs and kind of like imagery, but it's kind of like I think it looks like it's marketed for kids, or like people would take their kids to go see it.
Yeah, it's definitely a kids movie, for sure. But
I was saying that. I was like, it's a kids movie, and Forrest was like, no, it's not.
it's for anyone.
Who says it's for kids?
Yeah.
But yeah,
No,
I just thought it was weird.
I think it's like a family movie. You know, it's fun for the whole family.
I mean, I guess.
Like, yeah, does it have some like oddly like sexual gyration and dancing for sure?
And like the songs that they chose, it's
Some
like
of the
all
songs, but you mean you hear that shit on the radio anyway.
it's all like, I mean, we don't like
You
listen
never
to the
miss a
radio.
beat. I'm
But the
letting on my
Northman was
feet.
really good. You guys should go see it if you haven't.
Oh yeah.
I was disappointed with the ending. I can appreciate it. I can appreciate
Don't spoil it for people.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can appreciate it from like a filmmaking, like storytelling standpoint, but I was personally disappointed.
Yeah, I feel like typically I don't mind spoilers on this podcast, but I feel like a lot of people haven't seen this movie, and I don't want to like be that guy who just like spoils it.
Should we cut that part out of me talking about
No,
it?
you can say you're disappointed with the ending, but you know, I think
But it was a good movie overall.
it's more about the journey.
Yeah. I'd say it was like an 8 out of 10.
Yeah. Yeah, what did you like about it?
I just liked how it was just like it was really like simple story. Like, you know what I mean? But it did have like twists and turns and stuff, but it was really just like simple. It was about like this guy, and you know, would it be a spoiler to talk about like the plot?
Give a little brief summary of like the,
Okay, well,
the setup.
this guy basically like he was like, it's like a Viking tribe or like a Viking kingdom in like the 800s, not the 1800s, the 800s. So this was like a really fucking long time ago.
800 AD.
Yeah. And yeah, it's like this guy, and he,
Back when religion was cool.
yeah, they're like religious zealots, like they believe in Odin, you know.
They really believe in it.
And
Like they're all in.
basically his kingdom gets taken from him as like a child. Like his father gets murdered, and yeah, like his dad's like the king or whatever, and he just like vows to kind of like somehow like avenge his father, and you know, like take back the kingdom. And then it cuts to him like 20 years later, and it's like Alexander Skarsgård, and yeah, like it's just like it's like an epic kind of like journey of like just this guy just kind of like, yeah, like taking back his like kingdom and like avenging his dad. And it's just like, it's really like just like straightforward, and like it, you know, it just like things just like happen, like, you know what I mean? Like there's no, like, I just really liked it. Like, I don't know why. It was really just like simple, and like just like went for it.
Yeah, the filmmaking was outstanding.
Yeah, it looked really great.
Yeah, it was beautiful. It reminded me a lot of The Revenant, but I honestly like this more than The Revenant.
Mm-hmm.
Did you see that one with Leo?
Yeah, I kind of, I have, that's like another thing is like so many movies I watched while I was high, and I just don't remember.
Yeah, right. Yeah, we used to smoke weed all the time. But no, The Revenant was really good, and it kind of had a similar tone, except like even like more extreme, I would say. Like Revenant's more dramatic, I guess. Like this is more of an action movie, but they both films have like a very like serious, very intense, like methodical approach to like the way they are displayed and like filmed and captured. And yeah, like I was watching interviews with the director of this movie, Robert Eggers, and he was talking about how like pretty much every sequence, every scene in the film was storyboarded like a graphic novel, like page by page, like shot by shot, like everything was planned out, because there are so many moving parts. There are so many like long takes where the camera wouldn't cut during like very like, or if there were cuts, you know, they would be like hidden cuts, you know, disguised in editing. And yeah, it was kind of so it had to be planned out like that. There was one shot where I think they like, it starts out like in some brush, like overlooking a river, and then we see like these like Viking longboats like interframe, like, and then the camera starts moving forward like very methodically, like through the brush and like over the river, and then pans to like keep the Viking boat like in view, and then it like drops down like into the Viking boat like as the boat's like moving, and like follows along like in the middle of all the rowers, like, and then comes to settle, takes like a right turn and comes to settle on Alexander Skarsgård. And it's just like, how the fuck did they do that? Like, I was like blown away just by like the, like, you know, when you like watch a shot like that and you know it's real, like it wasn't, you know, all done with CGI like most movies today. It's like super like shocking. Like, just like, you know, they're just rowing a boat, but the way the camera is moving, it's like, okay, that couldn't have been a drone. There's no way that could be a drone. It would have like disrupted all the brush. It would have, you know, we would have seen like shit whirring up, and it's way too close to the actors' faces to be a drone. But like, it had to be on some sort of crane, but then it had to like, the crane had to come out and attach onto the boat somehow. Like, there was some sort of like handoff or something. Like, I was just like, oh my God, this is insane. This is like what filmmaking's all about, like kind of pushing the boundaries and using like the latest technology. And yeah, so the director was kind of going in on different shots. It was pretty fascinating. I would recommend. It's one of those movies where like you watch it and it's such a great experience. You just want to like read about the production. You want to read about like, you know, the backstory of how it got put together, and you read the whole Wikipedia page. Like, you just know it's a good movie when you like, when it sticks with you like after, and you keep thinking about it.
Yeah, I just like, I like movies that are just kind of about like somebody who's just like really like determined to like do something and kind of like overcome like hardship, you know what I mean? I just like really like meaningful kind of like stuff, like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like, there was no like kind of fluff or whatever like in this movie. It was all just like really like, you know, like just this guy kind of like using all his like strength, like his like physical, like emotional, like mental, like strength to like complete this like task.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? And to like overcome like these like villains, or like this villain, like to him, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And there was like some romance in there. We got,
Yeah, that was nice.
you know,
That was
Anya
like
Taylor-Joy.
a
Again,
good
like,
balance of
yeah.
like feminine and masculine energy. 'Cause
Yeah.
like that's, I feel like something the Revenant was missing, was like there's little to no female characters.
And yeah, I kind of feel like that adds to like the meaningfulness of like the journey. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, definitely.
you know, yeah.
It became like really important
Yeah, and
later on.
that
in the
was
story.
kind of like, yeah, exactly, yeah.
Yeah, and Anya Taylor-Joy was really good. Alexander Skarsgård was really good. I think everyone was excellent in the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like a really expensive episode of the Vikings.
Yeah, Vikings was a good show. I
Yeah.
like things that are like historical, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, they made a lot of efforts to be like extremely historically accurate. Like, they did a lot of research and stuff. Like,
Mhm.
yeah, the director was saying like he made the story like intentionally like simple, because like kind of allowed him room to focus on like other aspects of the production, like the costumes and like the sets and like the religious iconography, and kind of just to like put all that stuff on display. Because like, I don't know, some people like approach a movie and they're like, oh, like, what was the plot, or like that plot doesn't make any sense, or I don't know, like, I just, for me, like, there's a lot more to a movie than just the plot or just like the characters. Like, characters and plot are super important, but it's also like the filmmaking and like the craft of like telling the story is like, you know, like it's like a joke, like, you know, a joke is all on like how you tell it, you know, like if it's told poorly, you know, it's not gonna be funny, but if it's told well, you know, it can be like a mediocre joke, but if it's told like by like an expert comedian with like the best timing, it'll be like way funnier.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I thought like, yeah, I'm excited to like watch The Lighthouse, because that's his other movie that I haven't seen.
It was like refreshing too, because like it just, was so different from like most movies that come out these days.
Oh yeah, for sure. It was like a breath of
Like,
fresh air.
yeah, it was like, oh, like this is just like an actual like
It's like a real movie.
genuine story. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like,
there's no like like
there's-
bait messaging.
Yeah,
or, like,
exactly,
Yeah, like
yeah. I like how like the critical drinker calls like, you know, like SJW like messaging and stuff like the message or whatever.
no, there's no like woke bullshit.
Yeah, it
in
was
it.
just like, you know, oh, like just like a genuine like tale of like someone overcoming like a hardship or like trying to complete like this like difficult task. Like, oh wow.
Yeah, a lot of Hollywood movies like have some sort of like weird like political agenda.
Yeah, I
in them
didn't
now.
feel like there was any agenda in this movie, like other than just to
Yeah.
like make me sympathize with the characters.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I'm excited to check out The Lighthouse because I've heard that's really good too. I've seen The Witch, and I started showing you that movie.
Oh yeah, maybe we should watch it. I don't know. I am sensitive about scary things.
Black Phillip.
That
Do you remember that part where he steals the baby?
Yeah, that's like the worst part.
Yeah, that was awful.
I feel like you showed that to me like when Luna was like really small or something.
Yeah, I knew it was gonna freak
And
you
I
out.
was just like, never mind. Like I can't. Like I literally like I did like this movie, like The Northman, but there is some like just like really, I mean there's violence like throughout, but like there was like a part where like I don't know. It's just like there is violence that did like disturb me.
Yeah, it was
and
like haunting.
stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was like brutal. Yeah, yeah. I think Robert Eggers doesn't pull any goddamn punches with his movies. It's
Mhm.
pretty sweet. Yeah. Yeah, The Witch was really good. It's like a really unique film. And The Lighthouse, I've heard it's like really funny. Like it's almost like a comedy, even though it's described as a horror as well. But I've heard it's like really, really funny. So
Forrest is always trying to get me to watch like scary,
I know I've been like in a scary movie
and
recently.
I'm just like not. I hate scary movies. Like
I've been
movies
doing,
that
like,
are
lots
just
of
like
research.
scary for like no reason, or like they're not like, yeah, I don't know. Like
I'm like fascinated by like horror franchises right now, like
mhm.
Jason Voorhees and like Michael Myers and like Freddy Krueger, like all the slasher movies.
Mhm.
It's like I find it really interesting, like the production of them, and like I don't even think the movies are like particularly good or anything. It's just like something to like think about or be interested in. I don't know. There's like this guy on YouTube. His name is Dr. Wolfula. And it's like this dude who dresses up as like a wolf man who reviews movies. He's kind of got like a character like persona. He uses like a goofy voice. He's got like a ton of content. He's been doing this for like 15 years or something. And he's like not even that successful. It's like sad. He's like a ton of stuff. He's like good. I don't know like why his stuff hasn't like caught on more.
Mhm.
But I'm supporting him on Patreon. I'm thinking about buying a shirt. Even though I'm sure the shirt will be all like starchy and crappy like my shirts. Like don't buy my shirts, guys. Like they suck. Like I don't wear them. Teespring.
You just got some good shirts today at Target.
Yeah, like the thing is like they're not as bad as they used to be. I used to have Cafe Press, and those shirts were like super starchy and scratchy. Like they're basically like burlap sacks
Yeah.
with like shit printed on them. Now I use Teespring, which is like much better. There's like different options too. There's like the Comfort Tee, which is like more expensive but has like higher quality, softer kind of material. Then there's like the standard tee, which is like shittier, obviously. And but both of them, like, they're not really shirts that I would like recommend you wear on a daily basis. Like I just feel like most of these like companies, like they don't produce like I just maybe I'm just like really sensitive or something. But I like a good like kind of athletic shirt because like it has like a nice like smoothness to it.
I just like don't really like shirts or clothes with anything on it that's like kind of representing something. I don't really like shirts with words.
Yeah, I'd rather buy like a Dr. Wolfula like tote bag or something.
Yeah, like
I
that,
wonder if he
that
has
just
one of
sounds
those.
like ugly to me. Like
People love the shirts though. That's like the number
oh
one
my
seller
god,
in
like
my
I
store.
saw like a shirt. I'm like so mean, but like I saw like we were like at Target or something in like the Costco parking lot, and like I saw a woman wearing like a Cardinals like baseball team like shirt and hat, and like it just like struck me as like the ugliest thing like you could wear.
Yeah, like local sports teams, like out garb, like gear. The thing is, like, we're just not into sports.
I mean,
But the people who are into sports,
I
like,
can see,
to them, that's like a whole like idea and like look and like vibe, and they're not really concerned with like the fashion aspect of it as much as like they are like representing their hometown.
like, it's one thing
like,
to
what
be
it means to
into the
them.
sport. Like, you know, I'm not into sports, but I can understand that. But like, I just like, even if I was into sports, like, I would never wear that. Like, just out and about. Like, maybe if I was like at a game, but like not just like out and about. Like,
Those people are
randomly.
always at games. In their minds, in their hearts and minds,
I guess
they're at that game.
I do dress Luna in like Disney clothes with like Disney characters on them and stuff.
Yeah, we're Team Disney at this house.
And I wear like Disney stuff sometimes. But that's about it. Like, I don't know. I just like I'm just not interested in like really any clothes that are just like,
I like going shopping at thrift stores because you never know what
Yeah.
you'll find.
Mhm.
But like, really, yeah, I don't really care what's on the shirt as much as I care about how the material feels.
yeah, that is extremely important.
Because like, it has to feel like
I
good.
like just like really breathable like clothes that feel like, you know, like not super like gross and like sweaty.
Yeah, I like bands. Like, I like to get shirts that have like band names on them, or like, yeah, like I might get a Dr. Wofila shirt and I'll just kind of pull the trigger on it, you know, support them. But like, if the shirt might suck, there's like a 95% chance the shirt will suck, but maybe it'll be good. Maybe I'll wear it.
Yeah.
I need more like black shirts because like I need those when I animate. I need to wear black so I don't reflect on the set. So that's why I wear a lot of black. But I like color. You know, if I had my way, I would just wear color all the time. But I have a lot of black T-shirts because of my occupation.
When I was younger, I used to wear like all black because I thought it would make me look like skinnier.
It does, yeah. Stagehand style.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah,
When
it
I
takes
was,
10
like, in high
pounds off your frame.
Yeah.
Yeah, Alyssa used to be a real chunk of monk.
Yeah. I've like, my body's fluctuated a lot.
She was like
I was
ha-
the
y-
same
yeah.
size, the same like weight I was when I was 16 as I was when I was like literally like a day, like the day I gave birth to Luna.
Yeah, it's pretty
Like, I was
crazy.
like 140 pounds
Just because you ate all junk food all the time and you
Yeah.
were super depressed.
when I was like 16, and then like I was 140 pounds like right before I gave birth to Luna. Yeah.
It's pretty funny.
Mhm.
Yeah, I was looking at pictures of myself in the mirror. I took like 2 years ago.
Mhm.
Back when I was like, I was in a fat ass stage for a while, like a couple of years ago. Like, 'cause all I would eat was like pizza and like ramen
Yeah.
and like mashed potatoes, like warmed up in the microwave.
Mhm.
I was like 220, I think. And then, yeah, now I'm like 180. So I've lost like 40 plus pounds.
Mhm. When my dad was here, he was talking about like we drove by like a Sonic or like some like fast food restaurant. He's like, "Oh, remember when I used to take you there? Like when, you know, you like lived with me and stuff." And I was just like, "Yeah, Dad, I do." And like he started just naming like all these like disgusting like fast food restaurants he used to like take me to. I was like, "Dad, this is like embarrassing. Like this is not like the fond I mean, you know, it is good memories I was with my dad, but it's kind of just like, you know, like it's not like this like thing to be proud of or
Right.
whatever.
Yeah, it might have been better to like take you like on a nature walk or something.
Yeah, like it's like
there's
yeah.
other ways to bond with your parents.
Yeah, like his like idea. I mean, my dad is really healthy. Like my dad isn't like overweight or like
No, your dad's super
unhealthy.
healthy. He's like he takes very good care
But
of
like
himself.
yeah, he would just like let me just eat like whatever I wanted.
But he likes to see you like happy,
yeah,
like in the moment.
Uh-huh.
So if you're like, you know, asking for like junk food, he's gonna give it to you.
yeah, definitely.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, it
He
was
just
like,
wants to
this
see
is
you
like
happy.
embarrassing. I was like, this is embarrassing for both of us. Like it's embarrassing that I like ate all that, and it's embarrassing that you just like took me, like drove me there. And,
What'd you
like,
get? You get the tots?
I don't remember really even going to
You
Sonic.
probably got the tots, the cheese tots.
I probably got like, I don't know. But yeah, he said Panda Express. Like I definitely liked Panda Express.
That was one of our first dates.
Oh my god, it was.
I think that was our second date. We went to the mall and we walked around the mall and went to different shops. And
Oh
then we
yeah.
got Panda
Uh-huh.
at the food court. I think I bought a Lego and built it on
Oh,
the
we
table.
did.
Yeah,
That was when we had like our first kiss.
Yeah.
Like shortly after.
I got
or,
like a Lego
before
car.
that.
I
Yeah.
think, and I built it in front of you. I think you might have helped.
No, I definitely helped.
Yeah. Yeah, so like, yeah, it was a bonding experience.
Mhm.
Lego and Panda brought us together.
Yeah.
And then Alyssa, she was, you know, she was smitten by that point. So
Mhm.
she had no choice but to make out with me.
Yep.
Right. Pro tip.